Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Junk Podcast, episode 260, recording on February 1st, 2026. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name's Andrew.
And it's finally time. February 1st, the perfect day to do our top 10 games and recap of 2025. We will be unveiling our top 10 lists, as well as talking about the year in general. And I'm very excited to do so. How are you guys feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling like I didn't game that much. I think I said that last year too, but I think
I don't want to peel the curtain back too much, but I mean, you just said before the show you're not going to game at all this year, like no game.
That's right. I'm giving up. I can't even game. Why game at all?
So, I mean, this could be your last great year of gaming, so embrace it while you can.
I guess so. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
Let's do it.
I have one small announcement before we get started.
For it.
Today is Equilibrium Systems' 10th year birthday. 10-year birthday? 10 years in business as of today. So pretty exciting milestone for the company. And didn't think it would last this long, but it's still around, hanging in there, still paying the bills slightly. All the bills I have. So just wanted to shout out to myself for
that is awesome. Congratulations.
grinding it out for 10 years.
I mean, COVID definitely messes with timelines, but that doesn't feel like 10 years since you announced it. So
I know.
Congratulations.
It's bizarre. Thank you.
It's awesome news.
Yeah, very cool.
All right. Everyone should celebrate by buying Epic Dumpster Bear right now, and Epic Dumpster Bear 2.
And Jank Brain.
And
why not Cinnabunny also, and a Fold Apart, and any other games that I worked on. Gunhead by Alien Trap, Soundfall, tons of titles.
Get on it ASAP.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we look forward to including some Equilibrium Systems games on our 2026 lists. But until then, it's time to get to 2025.
I didn't even think to put Cinnabunny on my list. What a lost opportunity.
That says something. That's all I can say. All right. 2025. A lot of stories emerged from 2025. Clair Obscur, the greatest game ever created in the history of the world, among others. But in general, I would say it was a phenomenal year for games. I had to make a lot of cuts to my list, games I really enjoyed and platinumed. Many games I platinumed, which is rare to not make my list. But what were your reflections on 2025? What sticks out to you when thinking about that year? Sean, what do you got?
Yeah, I was thinking about this today. I mean, I feel like I have kind of mixed feelings. Like I still feel like in general, in terms of the kinds of games that are coming out right now, roguelikes, Souls-likes, still very popular. I still feel a little out of touch with all the stuff that's popular. The single-player AAA game feels like an endangered species to some extent. But indie games are thriving. There's so many cool indie games coming out. That's still the thing that's like that amazing game that you haven't even heard of could be your favorite game, and it's out there. So that's still exciting to me. And yeah, I mean, we got the launch of the Switch 2, which was huge. I mean, maybe not huge.
Well, I'll get into it. I disagree.
But it definitely was exciting for some. And then obviously the story of Xbox and potentially in decline, I would say. Those two would be the big stories in my mind.
Yeah, I think I broke that story the year the Series X launched, that it was already over. So look back to that. Well, you'll get when I tell you what actually this year was about in a few minutes, remember all the times I've been right. And that's just one example. Huck, what you got?
For me, I would have to say this year, possibly due to my less time to be able to play games, but I didn't find any games that really grabbed me like in some other years. Like there's like Final Fantasy VII Remake, I was enthralled with that game when it came out. I don't know if I had any games like that this year. I think there's a lot of really good games in general, and I played a bunch and enjoyed a bunch, but nothing really just like captured my heart, so to speak, and really like pulled me in. So I enjoyed my gaming time, but I was still looking for, that real game you're going to think about for years on end. And I don't know, maybe there's one or two in here that would, but I'm not sure if any of them would crack that sort of like overall best of list I have going in terms of, all games of all time, best games of all time sort of list. But in terms of the industry, it's definitely getting tough out there. Lots of layoffs, lots of restructuring. I think there was a similar thing when like EA was gobbling up all the companies. All of a sudden there's like tons of layoffs, tons of people not knowing where to go. And now it's even worse because, indie studios are a thing, but I think publishers are also pulling back on, their money, how much money they're giving out. They're trying to look more at sure things. So, a game like Clair Obscur is pretty rare, I think, now. A big game like that, like a double A, quote unquote double A game. Not many sort of games from mid-tier publishers that I remember. Like, what's the one that always has the crazy, like E3 type, Devolver Digital? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, they had a weak year.
I don't remember any standout games from them. Like Raw Fury had a couple games.
Only big one.
Sorry, which one?
Ball Pit. I think was the only major.
And I mean, how big was that? I don't know. I guess maybe it'll be on some of your guys' lists, but I mean, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it was like, a top tier game. And just like, with the stuff that's going on with Ubisoft right now is a little strange. Xbox,
yeah.
Sony is like seems stable, but their output seems very slow now in terms of games, and it's also very focused on like the big things, like the new big Naughty Dog game, whatever it's called. Remind me.
Intergalactic,
and they're obviously,
or is it Galactic? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet or something like that.
And then like obviously they had Ghost of Yote, and they're working on. I think the Wolverine game is them and stuff like that. So they have like some big things working, but also the rise of the like hero shooter genre and all these like free to play monsters that are cannibalizing each other. It's like a scary spot for developers to be in that sort of play space too, because a lot of these games are free to play. I mean, it seems like there's been a bit of a switch to trying to charge money for up front, like $40 or 60. I think Highguard was a full price title. Does that sound right?
No, it's free.
It's free also? Okay. So some of them are charging money, but most of them are free. So then, you have this huge upfront cost that you're putting into these games, massive investments, and just a lot of stress to make sure these things are fun to play and people are going to come back. And, there's a long tail and a loop. You got to get guys like Frank doing their dailies, keep that population up kind of thing. And it's just a scary time. Like Sean said, it's almost like the decline of the endangered. What'd you say? Endangered species. The AAA game is endangered species. I kind of feel the same way. It's interesting that people would rather play, a free game. I mean, it's not surprising, but there's these free games are such high quality now that you could play these games forever and never spend any money. It's almost like a little bit of the race to the bottom where. Now the commodity is not the money, though, it's the time. So how do you even get the time to play these games? And it's tough in the industry right now, for sure. So that's my thoughts.
That was a very good summary. I would add, if I'm going to throw shade at Xbox, to be fair, I think they had a pretty good year, especially compared to Sony. I mean, Sony... I'm blue haze all the way, but they had an absolutely horrible year. I was looking back at exclusives and what they released, and it is pretty sad. And spoiler alert, Ghost of Yote is not on my top 10 list. I was playing it a lot this week, and I don't think it's that great. I think it's good, but not great. And I'm a little worried, to be honest. But the stories that I kind of settled on are in the same realm, but kind of a different focus. I thought the opposite. I thought the roguelike genre has kind of been dead for the last few years. I feel like after Hades and around that time, roguelikes felt a dime a dozen, just repeating Hades and some other games. And except for Balatro, I would say would be an exception. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I mean, dime a dozen. Yeah, maybe there's not a ton of like new, exciting original ones, but I still feel like there's tons of them coming out, whether they're survivor likes, card deck builders, or, you know, like the Hades clones. Like there's a lot of those games coming out. I had a huge list of them on that I was kind of like, I want to play some of these maybe for contention for on my list, and I ended up really not playing any of them. So,
Well, I definitely disagree with you there in terms of there have been a lot of roguelikes the past few years, and they have been pretty forgettable for the most part, with a few exceptions. But I thought this year was the best year for roguelikes ever. And I think it had, I have four, maybe more on my top 10 list. And I think they are some of the best roguelikes ever and truly unique versions of roguelikes, except for a sequel that I haven't played before. And felt like some games finally pushed that form. I wouldn't call it a genre forward. And I was impressed. I'm like, I really love roguelikes again. And similarly, Metroid likes are back. I had the most fun playing Metroid likes I've had in a very long time. Sorry, just to go back to the roguelikes, Absalom, Blueprints, Rogue Prince of Persia, Hades 2, Ball Pit. Kirby Air Riders has a roguelike mode that I really liked. People loved Monster Train 2. I feel like I'm even forgetting a couple other ones that I think were the best roguelikes we've seen in a very long time. And going back to Metroid likes, Silk Song, of course, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Blade Chimera, a game that's really been forgotten that I wanted to put on my top 10 list very badly, but it didn't make it. Ender Magnolia, which came out very early in the year. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo was a very unique top-down Metroid-like. Guns of Fury, and I'm sure there's many others that I didn't even play. So I was kind of burnt out on Metroid likes, and I felt like it was a very good year for those as well. My other, I would say those two are very me specific, but to apply that to a very large scale, a story that I don't think I've heard mentioned all that much is the value of indie games. Specifically, I mean, everyone mentions Clair Obscur being a $50 game that was very long and packed in a ton of content. I obviously wasn't crazy about it, but I liked it, and I definitely see the value of it. And Silk Song has like 100 hours of gameplay for $20, and it's not trivial gameplay. It's unique, good gameplay. Now, obviously, some of that is trial and error and struggling on bosses, but hey, every game has that to some degree, especially Souls-like. So hard to argue the value there. And Hades 2 easily could spend 100 to 200 hours playing that game, and it's like $30. So I was like, man, you could buy those 3 games for $100 or so and play the whole year long, most people, and have a really good year, I think. So I'm really impressed with how those big indie companies could have milked those games for more dollars and really, charged double what they did, and maybe Kickstarters and things force those decisions. But either way, I think that should be talked about more and is very commendable.
One thing we haven't really touched on, you touched on it briefly, Frank, was like Nintendo. I think Sean mentioned Switch 2 kind of thing.
Well, that's coming. I got a big Nintendo thing coming up.
Oh, okay. I just quickly from me, like I didn't buy the Switch 2. Like I know you guys love DK Bonanza. I want to play it, but I just have no desire to get it right now. Nothing's blowing me away about Mario Kart World, though I'm sure that game's fun. DK Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4, like it's a pretty good launch lineup for the Switch 2. And it's kind of like under the radar. I don't feel like anyone's talking about the Switch 2. It's not coming up at all. I think Nintendo quietly had quite a good year. Oh, Kirby Air Riders 2, you were saying, is like fun.
You're literally taking the words that were just about to come out of my mouth. I love it.
Well, you have more to back it up. I'm just like doing, outside looking in on this stuff.
I love it.
So why don't you pick it up? Because I do feel Nintendo has quietly had a good year, and they're not really getting any praise. I don't feel like they're seeking any praise. I feel like they're just racking in the dough and laughing at everybody and, going about their business. Also, there was like a new was that?
Yeah.
Maybe not racking in the dough.
Yeah, I mean, based on the EB secret sales, like trying to clear out Nintendo products the past 2 months or so, I would agree with Sean that I don't know if it's a great financial year for them.
But I've heard podcasts that discuss the sales numbers, and some of the games are up there on the sales list, and Nintendo doesn't provide them with the digital sales numbers. So those are all just physical. Whereas the others are all physical and digital. So
some of those games are on Switch 1, though. I don't know if that would be
probably
count.
Yeah, it probably would count. Yeah. But I mean, even like that new Pokemon game came out that I don't think, any of us played or even thought about playing.
I did.
But I'm sure
it's the best Pokemon game I've ever played. I want to play it more. I've never liked a Pokemon game more in my life.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, then, that game's always going to make probably 10 million sales just by default, just by existing. So, that's a big franchise that people love to play. Anyways, go ahead, Frank. Take it away.
Oh, yeah. No, I love that you brought it up. So I was thinking the same thing. I remember back to Nintendo launch lineups. They're typically very weak, like the GameCube being one of the weakest. And Nintendo 64 had Mario 64 and Pilot Wings, but pretty sparse after that. Super Nintendo would be the one that I would think would be the go-to as the best launch lineup window for a Nintendo system. I obviously don't remember NES all that well. But I'm looking back and I'll say this, 9 of my top 10 list games are on the Switch or Switch 2. And 5 of them are exclusive to the Switch 2 or Switch. So that is very rare for me. And I think, as you said,
you got the Scarlet Fever over there, bud.
Hey, I like what I like. It was a very good year for them. Might be a bit of new console bias, but I honestly don't think so. I mean, I'm into trophies. If these games were okay and not that good, I would be sticking to trophy hunting. I wouldn't be coming back to the Switch 2 every day to do daily stuff in Kirby Air Riders. But DK Bonanza, criminally under-discussed, underrated, undervalued, one of the best games ever, had the potential, still in my opinion, to be the best game ever made if they would have nailed the snake and the zebra powers a bit more and somehow made the transition between or amalgamation of those different powers a little more seamless. Those are the only flaws with that game to me. Other than that, I think it's absolutely brilliant and one of the most polished games and addictive games I've ever played. Mario Kart World, not amazing. I think it under-delivered on the open world concepts and definitely didn't earn its price tag, but still Mario Kart and still very fun. Kirby Air Riders also needs more attention. It has so much in it. It is like chaos and fun, and there's so many things to do in that game. I just play it a bit all the time, and I'm always seeing something new. It's jam-packed with content and super polished. Hades 2, a Switch 2 console exclusive. Welcome Tour was laughed at. I actually thought it was kind of good for $15. I had fun with it.
I was hoping it would be on your top 10 list.
It's not. As I mentioned, Pokemon Legends Z through A, a little more action-based, and for my money, even though I haven't gone back to it, which obviously says something, but I have wanted to go back to it more than any Pokemon game I've tried before. The substantial upgrades for Switch 2 editions for games, and I think the hardware was really good. It's well made. I love the Pro controller. It's one of the best controllers ever. And I mean, the camera was a fail, no doubt, but how much they're supporting and doing great versions of Breath of the Wild and other games, I don't know. It's weird because I feel like I'm in Bizarro land where everyone just overpraises Nintendo for everything, and now they're the enemies. And this is the first time I'm like, people should actually be celebrating Nintendo right now. They're doing some interesting stuff and made great games. And I kind of like what Huck said. They just keep doing their thing. whatever. They're really unaffected by public perception. And I doubt 2026 will be as good for them unless the rumors are true and there's a new Mario. I didn't even mention Galaxy 1 and 2 remakes. I didn't mention Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which I think is way better than people are saying it is. So I really feel like if anyone got a raw deal this year, it's Nintendo. They had a phenomenal year and no one knows about it and no one is buying a Switch 2 and you're missing out. That's all I'll say. It's your loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2026 could be great for them potentially. Like you're saying, compared to what they just did, can they top that? But I would hope they might have even more in store. We know nothing about what they have planned for this year, so I don't know. I'm hoping that there's some big things ahead.
Yeah, I hope so too. I've really been enjoying my time with Nintendo this past year. And just my last kind of story, not something I'm ever very conscious of or care about, but I thought video game music was amazing this year. Like the music in Metroid Prime 4 is so good. Silk Song's music was amazing. Hades 2, the way it infused music into the game, including a boss fight with like original songs. People loved Claire Obscure's music. It's good. It didn't resonate that much with me, but I get it. And Absalom had phenomenal tunes. And I usually don't care or even think about and Yote. I love the music in Yote. And a great year. Something, like I said, don't really care about all that much, but had to recognize it this year, I think. And I'm sure there's games that I didn't really play that much of that also had great music. So great stuff.
Yeah,
I'm very positive about 2026. I think it was one of the great years for gaming that I can remember. And I'll just to kind of, even though it was a great year for gaming, I'm going to second what Huck said a little bit. I still don't feel like they're even my number one game. I mean, my 1 through 4 are pretty interchangeable, I would say. I don't know if any one of these would be like in my top 10 of all time, maybe not even in my top 20. They're all very good, but Donkey Kong Bonanza could have been, but it just didn't hit that mark. So a lot of really, really good games, but I don't think there was a transcendent game this year. And it still just really pisses me off that all people talk about is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And I was going through top 10 lists again, and every one I read, it's number one, and the person says, what else is there to say about this game? Well, tell me, besides it was made by an indie team. Tell me something about it. Be specific, please, for the love of God, other than it's got a great story and it reminds me of old RPGs. All I'm asking for is specifics here. That's it.
Sounds like it didn't make Frank's list.
Absolutely not.
I just want to say I am on the same page with what you guys are both saying there. It's weird because I had a lot of stuff competing for my bottom 5, not a lot of stuff competing for my top 5. And even now, like my top 5 doesn't feel that solid to me. So I don't know what that says about the year. For me, it was just like, I feel like I'm a little out of sync with a lot of the big games that are coming out, but I don't know, maybe it was just kind of a great year with an abundance of very good games, not enough like absolute, masterpieces.
Yep. Man, Game Junk knows what the fuck they're talking about. We're so smart. Okay. Are we good to do our top 10 list? Anything else?
We're good.
Just one more thing with Nintendo and my, just gushing over them this year. I was thinking about the little things in games. Like, I just love polish, and I love, especially with art and just so many games repeat the same things and use things that other games have established. See Arc Raiders borrowing Concord's aesthetics and all that stuff. And Nintendo just has a way of doing their own thing, but feeling like Nintendo. Obviously talked about their naming and localization as just always being incredible, especially for Donkey Kong Bonanza and other games. But just 3 little things from Nintendo that I loved. The menu and music and loading icon for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I absolutely love it. It's like obviously that classic ethereal Metroid Prime 4 menu, and the loading icon is so nice, so beautiful. Second, Donkey Kong Bonanza. When you're hanging and you do the clap mechanic, you clap the feet. I think I said when we saw that in a Nintendo Direct, this is the greatest game ever made, and it was almost there. It almost did it. But that foot clap still just makes me so happy. And number one, I don't think I've heard a single person in the world talk about what I'm about to talk about. This is a first.
Whoa.
And no one is going to think it's a big deal, but it just makes me happy. Kirby Air Riders. When you win, first, second, or third, you get like a number. And it's not like overpowering, but it has like a sparkle embedded, a glitter and a sparkle in the numbers that is like unlike anything I've ever seen before. I find it intoxicating to look at this sparkle when I come first, second, or third. And it's got like a and it changes. Like there's more sparkles whether you get first, second, or third. And I can't explain it. It's almost like a scratch ticket, but even more interactive. It's like a starry sky. I love it. It's one of my favorite things in gaming this year. And I just needed to recognize it on here. So the sparkle of the numbers in Kirby Air Riders, you got to check it out. It's absolutely beautiful.
Cool. Very cool.
I just checked it out. No comment.
Buddy, you're not even looking at it properly.
No, I'm not. It was like a tiny YouTube window off to the side. I understand.
It's so
It's not
detailed
4K
and
brilliance.
refined. It is understated yet mind-blowing. It's it truly has to be seen in beautiful 4K after a match of Kirby Air Riders to be appreciated. So
I imagine.
all right.
Also,
Sounds
half
like
it was
it's
cut
almost
off.
like
It's cut off and you're saying no
I know
comment?
half it was cut off because the stupid YouTube video put like, here's the next video. That's how much they cared about the one sprinkling.
You
I
can
know.
put that in any corner. Put
I
it in
know.
a different corner.
How dare they? That's an
Oh my
insult. Should I look up the
God.
channel name for you?
No, it's all right. Don't give them any,
We don't
any
wanna give them
press.
credit.
Absolutely not.
All right,
I
I'll
was
send
gonna
it to
say,
you
it sounds like
afterwards.
this sparkle thing is like visual ASMR for Frank. Like it's just
kinda is.
tickling a certain part of his brain. That's
I love it. It's
intriguing.
it's so unique. It really does something to me. Okay, we're going top 10. Are we ready?
Yep.
ready.
Huck, you want to kick us off there?
Sure. My number 10, possibly controversial, but
Ooh, I love
it is
controversy.
Horses.
it is Mind's Eye, the
Whoa.
Battle of the Ball. Oh yes,
That is
off the
controversial.
board.
Controversial for me.
I know. I love this sort of like third person action narrative driven adventure game, and you know there wasn't many of them this year that I got a chance to play, and so I was looking at some of the other games on my list, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm putting it at number 10. Let's do it. So I know it has some technical limitations. I know there's like certain aspects of the game where you play them and it just sort of stops playing. The game just stops working, and the audio goes crazy and lots of fun stuff like that. But it is a unique gem that should be treasured by the Game Junk community, and now it can be. So number 10, Mind's Eye, a classic, an underwhelming classic.
That is too bold. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of like the binary domain of this year.
Please don't soil binaries domains. It's way above. Binary domain is in a top 10 somewhere, aka mine. Mind's Eye would not be anywhere near a top 10. But this
It is in
year,
your top 10.
no, I'm saying
Of all
the
time?
overall.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Now that is also too bold. All right, Sean, number 10.
All right, this one back and forth many, many times, but in the end, I asked myself, you know, what were the games that I just played and kind of kept coming back to and just straight up enjoyed without too much frustration. And in the end, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is on this list. It is my number 10. I think they did enough interesting things to shake up the formula a bit. Looks great, sounds great. And yeah, for the most part, I just enjoyed playing through it. I kept coming back to it. It happened to coincide with being on vacation, which helped a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect game. There's some issues, but I really enjoyed the game. That's all I can say. So,
Hell yeah, brother. Amen. All right. Now, my number 10, surprisingly enough, my thought process was the exact same as Huck's. I was like, this game, I'm looking at about 8 other games that I was debating for my number 10. My number 10 was the hardest one to do. And I don't like honorable mentions, but I will do it in this case because I feel like they are pretty much interchangeable. But I had to select one. And I miss just polished, fun, single player experiences. And I'm guessing this game is also on Huck's list, but maybe not. If it isn't, he picked the wrong one for number 10. But Mafia, the Old Country, is the single player polished experience that everyone should try and play. I've never played a Mafia game before. This felt like a throwback really to Uncharted to me, specifically Uncharted 1 and 2. And it just was very fun to play. There's not too much content. I didn't get sick of it. The story was actually pretty good. That's one of my issues with Yote. I find the story to be pretty boring and generic, and the character to kind of lacked charisma, and it's kind of humorless. And it's a little too serious for me. And I thought Mafia was a decent Mafia story and was a lot of fun. And I feel like it's a little under recognized. I have seen it on some top 10 lists though, but very playable. Burned through it and really enjoyed my time. So had to throw a little love. This is the only one of my top 10 list at number 10 that is, to my knowledge, not available on Nintendo Switch 1 or 2.
Interesting.
So my top 9 are all available on the Switch.
Wow. Okay.
I gotta say, just if people are listening and have only heard our number 10s so far, they're probably getting pretty worried about what our lists are going to be like. These are like unexpected games that not a lot of people have been loving. So,
well, I said it once this episode. I'll say it again. That's their problem. All right, Huck, number 9.
My number 9 is This Seat Taken, which is a nice little puzzle game, maybe even a cozy puzzle game if you want to go that far and be so bold, about sort of like choosing which seat people will sit in and what's the word I'm looking for? Like basically making sure that all their needs are met. Some don't like stinky people, some don't like people who talk, some don't like people who play music. So you got to arrange them in each of these puzzle situations so that all these requirements are met. And I love this game. Just going back to it, it was pretty easy to play. Puzzles weren't too difficult, but the puzzles were enjoyable, nothing too frustrating. And I thought it was a well-crafted, just little puzzle game that I enjoyed a lot. I liked the art style. It wasn't really anything crazy. Like, it's just basically bubble people, circle people, triangle people, and square people. And just like the personality of it. And there was like a tiny little storyline along the way, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time with it. And it was nice and short, which also was a plus.
I liked it a lot too. My biggest complaint with that was playing in handheld mode. I would satisfy the requirements to move on, but I want to do everything. And then I would just put my thing down and it would mildly hit the left shoulder button. For some reason, the left shoulder button advances to the next level. And I look up and I'm on the next level. I'm like, oh no, what the fuck is going on? I got to go back and do the whole thing over again. And I'm just like, enough.
So it's the trophy hunting brought it down.
No, I mean, I couldn't even get trophies. I just liked the game and wanted to do everything in a level. And I just got annoyed with it at some point. But it is a really good puzzle game.
I played it on Steam, so using the mouse to drag the guys around was really intuitive and easy to do. And I didn't have any left trigger being pushed down issues.
If I said left, I think it's right trigger, actually.
Right trigger. Any
triggers? I'm correcting myself, that's all.
I played it on iPhone, and my big issue was I uninstalled the game at some point, and this was before they added cloud saves, so I
Oh
lost all
no.
my progress. So
Really?
I haven't really gone back to it,
Oh.
but maybe I will.
All right, Sean.
Okay, my number 9, big year for ninja games. And I went with the one that nobody else did, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which I
Interesting.
really enjoyed. From the Game Kitchen, is that the development studio? I just, it was had kind of that retro feel, and for me, once I kind of got hooked into some of the challenges that they've added in this, like you have two characters that you're going back and forth between. There's like these sections where you have like a timed window where you're trying to get through almost like an obstacle course of enemies, and if you kind of get hit a bunch of times, you have to restart basically. And I enjoyed those elements, but there was something about the fact that it's a lot of one-hit kills, like in terms of you killing the enemy. So it's like when you get in the groove, it feels really good where you're just kind of like slicing enemies, jumping, slicing. And yeah, I don't know, something about it just kept me playing through to the end. And I do want to go back to Shinobi, but that just didn't totally hook me right away. So Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, check it out. It's on Game Pass now.
Yeah, if there's two games that I feel like I might have made my top 10 list, but I didn't give them enough time, and there's no real reason. Ragebound and Doom the Dark Ages would be the two that I thought I really liked what I played. There was no reason really for me to stop. I don't even know why I did, but probably just other stuff came out, and they're both really good. Nice. I'm looking at some video of this game. I'm like, yeah, I need to go back to it. It looks amazing. My number 9 is a Metroid-like Blade Chimera on Steam and Nintendo Switch. I can't. These developers have made a bunch of other Metroid-likes that I haven't played before.
Team
And
Ladybug or something like
yeah,
that?
Team Ladybug, and I think they did the Touhou Luna Nights, yep, and Wonder Labyrinth, which I want to go back and try all of those, but it's definitely not like the greatest Metroid like I've ever played, but it was just so playable and fun, and I love the art style, and it let me just made it so like fun to just go do whatever you want. I could teleport to any square on the map. Like just that alone was like, this is all I want. Everyone knows we can go back to an area we were in before, and it just lets me do it and just have fun and play the game I want to play it. And I think the shooting mechanics are very solid combined with the melee, and kind of an interesting story and use of like a pixel engine to tell the story. And again, kind of not talked about all that much, and I think it should be on people's radar for sure.
Yeah, I went back and tried to play this a bit more, and I was enjoying it. I don't know, just I was like, it's probably not going to make my list, but I do want to go back and play it because I was enjoying it.
Cool. I did not play that game. It was on my list of games to play, but didn't get around to it. Number 8 for me is The Seance of Blake Manor, which is a detective-y game where there's also a time mechanic. And Sean, you talked about it kind of the last couple episodes, I think. And you basically investigate items around the mansion, talk to people, and each one of these actions has a time cost to it. So you can kind of move around with no cost or little cost. And then when you actually interact with things, that's where the cost comes in. And I like that mechanic. I had a couple prototypes that did this exact same mechanic, and I think it works quite well actually for eliminating some of the initial sort of like stress of having a runtime clock or a real-time clock that, you want to add that sort of like push for players to look at stuff and investigate, but also some sort of, time cost to them. And I thought it worked pretty well. I'm not very far, but sorry, big sneeze there. Had to mute myself. But yeah, I enjoyed the mechanics a lot. I thought the story they're telling is kind of neat and interesting, and continuing to go through the story and see where it leads. So yeah, number 8, Seance of Blake Manor.
Nice. Very
Nice.
good pick. Very good pick. My number 8 is we just talked about last week, Strange Jigsaws. This is the kind of meta-ish puzzle game where it starts off kind of just being jigsaw puzzles, but then there's other layers of weird puzzles that are in the UI and just kind of places where you don't expect them to be. And it it was just one of the games this year that kind of surprised and delighted me, I guess I would say. And if you're into puzzle games, I think you should definitely give it a look. It's like, I don't know, maybe 4 hours, something like that, 3-4 hours. But it just was the right length for me. And the puzzles weren't incredibly hard, but a lot of different kinds of puzzles that just always came from places you didn't expect. So check it out. Really enjoyed it.
I did check it out. I played it right after we recorded last week and played it for an hour or so, and I really enjoyed it. It's a fun little game. And there's some of the puzzles were really neat, like just how you have to change how you think with each puzzle, and they do a really good job of messing around with that. My number 8 is Kirby Air Riders. A game I never thought ever in the world would make my top 10 list.
Yes, me too.
When we watched the 40-minute Nintendo Direct going over every detail of the game. And I'm like, I got to switch to. I got to buy everything. I forgot to mention, I tried Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity today as well, and I'm enjoying that quite a bit. And so Kirby Air Riders, it's not a game that I feel like I have to play for hours on end. I pop in, there's events all the time. I pop in for events every day. I sometimes do a daily race. My dailies have kind of moved from shooters and like Marvel Rivals to like self-motivated dailies in Kirby Air Riders and Mario Kart World. And I just do an online match or two. And I'm always getting something new. It's got so many game modes, like just the basic racing, the top-down mode, which is like RC Pro-Am, which is surprisingly fun, and there's City Trial, which is like this chaotic Smash Bros. Racing kind of thing. That is what most of their events revolve around, which are great. And then it's got a single-player mode called Road Trip. That's a roguelike version of all these things mashed together. That is also awesome. And it's just so polished. It's always surprising me. It looks great. The sound's awesome. And it for whatever reason, of course, that sparkle just really spoke to me. I'm so surprised this game is something I keep returning to. And I think it has the potential to have a really long tail. There's like so many twists on events they can do in these game modes. And I think once people finally come around to it and more people buy the Switch 2, I think it's gonna have a second life, or I hope it does anyway, because I don't think a lot of people are playing it right now, and I feel like it's laughed at to some degree. But it is the better arcade racer between that and Mario Kart World, and I like Mario Kart World quite a bit. So yeah, get it from the library, give it a shot. Nintendo should put out a demo for this or something. Like it is good once you play it. It's also very complicated. It has simplicity at its core of just holding one button, but there are a lot of mechanics in it, and I'm still, like I said, finding new stuff every time I play it. So don't laugh at it. Give it a shot. It's a very good game.
It is a Switch 2 exclusive, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I figure more people would definitely be talking about it if it was.
It needs to be. This game could never run on the Switch. There's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of sparkle. A lot of sparkle.
Yeah. Think fucking Switch can support those sparkles? There's like probably a bajillion sparkles in one number.
At least. My number 7 is not on Frank's top 10 from what he said before. It is Ghost of Yotai. And this game, I struggled with where to put on this list because there's so much polish about this game I love, but I haven't put that much time into it, to be honest, in a gaming shame moment. And I just love the environments. I love like all the stuff going on around you. I think the setting, the like using the wind to the diegetic UI with like it in the environment and stuff is great. And I haven't run into the frustrations you were talking about, Frank, with the combat, but that could be because I'm not as far as you, and I haven't run into like the more difficult characters. But there's still a lot to like about this game, and so I'm slotted in number 6. Ghost of Yote.
Nice. I mean, last week or a week and a half ago when I got back to it, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely going in my top 10. And the more I played it, it kind of suffered from the same issues as the first one, like very repetitive. And I think 2 days ago, I was doing a story mission where you like keep doing these fox statue puzzles. And it's like, it's amazing. You just keep doing it over and over again. And they're not that inventive. They're not that clever. And I'm like, okay, this is the nail in the coffin. If this is a story mission, this isn't even a side mission, which
Right.
are already repetitive, and now a main mission is feeling arbitrarily extended to some degree. That's where I was like, it's good. I'm going to finish it. I probably will platinum it, but I don't think it's worthy of top 10 status. And again, combat, like arbitrarily, like enemies just do the craziest shit. And then you start encountering enemies that shoot 3 arrows in a row for like some reason. They're Legolas and you can't do that. And it just feels like so balanced in favor of the enemies in a weird way where you're all just humans in this world in Japan that it doesn't even make sense. So, yeah, I like it a lot, but very disappointing, I have to say.
Okay, that's number 7.
7.
Ron?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 7 is Bionic Bay. This is a game I have not heard too many people talking about, but I really enjoyed it. I guess it's a puzzle platformer, I would say. It's kind of got some physics-based elements as well. Limbo is probably the closest comparison I can think of, but you're kind of the main mechanic for a lot of the puzzling stuff is that you can hit an item and then swap spots with it, like kind of teleport yourself to where that item was. And there's a few other mechanics, but that's kind of the main one that carries through a lot of the levels. And but on top of that, the movement feels really good in this game. Like you have this kind of dive roll thing you do that really feels like you're propelling yourself very far. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just something about it felt very good. There was a lot of interesting puzzle stuff along the way, and just the atmosphere and the visuals I really enjoyed. So if you have not heard of it, give it a look.
It's interesting. I was gonna take a look at this game because I heard you played it, liked it, but for some reason I was under the impression you didn't like it that much, so I didn't look at it before, and now I'm regretting it. So,
oh man,
you're riding this under the radar, Sean. You didn't give me any hints here.
I did try it after Sean talked about it. There was a demo on PlayStation Plus, I believe. I don't know if it's still there, and it was pretty good. I guess I'm kind of the opposite of Sean in like I struggled with the accuracy of the physics-based platforming, which is kind of the appeal, but possibly the thing that people might not like about it.
Yeah, I mean there is some trial and error there for sure. Sometimes you do things right and the physics still kind of ends up killing you, but pretty short checkpoints, and I didn't mind having to repeat stuff a bunch of times to try and get through. So,
all right, my number 7 is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And I loved the vibe of this game. Really impressed by the visuals. Going back to like curated environments with like meticulously placed lighting, not just, skybox lighting with nighttime cycles that just kind of don't give a very specific look to levels. And when I saw the Chrono Tower for the first time and like the music, I was like, this is blowing my fucking mind. It's so vaginal. There's a lot of vaginal imagery in this game. Maybe a dedication to Samus. Who knows? I don't know. But it's got just an awesome aesthetic and solid puzzles. And I think Sean and I were talking about this on our Split Fiction playthrough. Is that up yet, Sean? Just curious.
It is up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Should have mentioned that at the top of the show. Us finishing that game, and we talked about it in there. How good the camera is for the morph ball. I know this is basically crediting something that's been around for a long time, but that's where I find that game artistically shines. Those like specific morph ball environments and how they light them, and the camera perspective, it just really, the game sings when I'm in those moments. And I thought there were some cool new morph ball mechanics in this game. And honestly, it's just the backtracking, some really bad backtracking and lack of fast travel that held this game back for me. Other than that, I think it would have been in my top 5. But there are undeniably moments where it's like, ugh, I got to ride literally where I just came from and go back there to hand something to some guy in a room. And that stuff is unforgivable. So, yeah, again, so close. That's the theme with a lot of these games. I feel like if I could tweak every game from Metroid Prime 4 to my number 1, except for maybe my number 1, I could have gotten any one of these games to my number 1 game of the year. So, except for maybe Hades 2, because it is what it is. But yeah, love Metroid Prime 4.
Nice.
6. My number 6 is Split Fiction, which I saw you guys put up your finale Let's Play, and I didn't get a chance to watch it all, but I really just appreciate all the different types of puzzles that go into this game, the different areas they have, and even just like the co-op aspect of it is a little challenging at times to like get someone together to do it, obviously, with your guys' 8-month kind of like total playtime. But it is like such a unique thing to focus on for a studio, and like that's what they're known for. I just appreciate it, and I feel like they are creative. Like the level that really stood out for me was like the farm level with the pigs and the springs and all that stuff that you go through, and there's just like a lot of creativity that got put into this game, and yeah, I just appreciate what Hazelight does, and I missed that guy at the awards show this year. It's real letdown.
Yeah, it was my last cut. I literally had to pick between it and Mafia before the show, and basically where I settled is what you said. I really like the game, and everything you said I agree with. It's just like, obviously I was okay not finishing it for 8 months or whatever, and it kind of felt like, well, I have to finish it. And I can't say that about the other games on my list. I couldn't stop playing them for the most part. So that's usually where I make my decisions. The games I just had to keep playing.
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb for sure.
Okay, my number 6 is Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, which Frank mentioned just 10 or 15 minutes ago. But I don't know, is it a Metroid-like or a Zelda-like, or is it both? I guess it's kind of both.
To be honest, Zelda is a Metroid is a Zelda-like, if we're being truly honest.
Yeah, which I feel like we have talked about that before. But it resembles a Zelda game, an old school Zelda game, just on the surface level for sure. And it's kind of this unique story where you're the son of a mob boss that the spirit of your is it your mom or your grandmother?
Isn't it your grandma? Aren't you like the child of like a CEO or like rich capitalist? Isn't that like you're like supposed to inherit a bunch of money? I don't think it's the mob, is it?
I feel like there's criminal organizations. Oh, maybe. Well, I guess that's who you're fighting against. But yeah. So the weird thing is that you have a yo-yo, and your grandmother has possessed the yo-yo kind of and is able to speak to you through it. But most of your attacks revolve around this yo-yo, and it's just kind of like impressive how many different techniques they came up with for different types of attacks and movement abilities that all revolve around the yo-yo. So, but it's a bigger game than I expected it to be, and I think there's a lot to it, and the level design was pretty solid. The one thing for me, it was like I started off, there's like a prologue, and I was really enjoying it, and kind of when it opens up to the first kind of city area, I kind of got turned off briefly. I don't really know why. I think I just kind of got lost and didn't really know where I was supposed to go. But then when I came back and gave it another shot, it really hooked me. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and that is my number 6.
Could have been my number 10 for sure. My only issue with that game, I agree with you 100% about all the cool mechanics with the yo-yo, but I feel like they're mapped in really unintuitive ways. And I would find myself doing the wrong one. Like it's always hold a trigger and hit a button, and they're the same. And I'm like, I did the wrong thing. And if that would have been
a lot to keep in your head. And there's like at the end, there's this obstacle course thing where you're trying to use all of it at once. And it was like, oh my God, my brain is going to explode here.
Yeah. And the key to me there is it's not intuitive. Like I have to really think about what I have to do and practice it a bunch, which I feel like the best game mechanics don't do that. They just feel good and feel natural when you're playing through something. So still a great game. I really enjoyed it. My number 6, The Rogue Prince of Persia. And another game that I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen on any lists anywhere. And just the wall running
come out in early access last year, so I don't know if that also affected
that's true. It got like 1.0 release this year, and it's by the developers of Dead Cells. And I'd say at its heart, it falls back on a lot of mechanics from Dead Cells and the combat of that game, but it adds wall running as platforming, which I think I've never seen a game do that well, which is a challenge. And I think we're entering this point of my top 10 list where all of the games I'm going to talk about, except for Hades 2 and Silksong maybe, do something I've never seen in a game before. Or I've never seen this done well. And it's very hard to do like a 2.5D game and interact with the background and know what's interactable and what isn't, and not to get to areas I'm like, oh, I forgot I could even do that. Like it integrates this kind of tertiary layer between the foreground and background so well that I thought it was a really great accomplishment of design, and like just a testament. I think I said I was almost done. I definitely like rolled credits and was going to platinum it, and my save file got corrupted, and I was like, oh God. But I just started it again and did it anyway and played the whole game again, and I was still having fun, and can't say that about many games. So in terms of another or other roguelikes that will be ahead of it on the list, my main criticism for this game would be some of the like boons and power-ups you get, not that enticing to me, and some I'm happy to like X out and never use. And the weapons feel very similar. So I don't get that run-to-run nature of, wow, this was totally different than my last run, and it felt like a different game. Every run kind of feels the same. They're fun, but for the most part, it's like, yeah, that's kind of similar, but the storytelling is great too. And how it tells you where you need to go and guides you through the storytelling. Great stuff. So check it out if you haven't yet. It's a great game.
Cool. My number 5 is Metroid Prime Beyond. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Sorry. Already on your guys' lists, I believe, both of you. And I enjoyed this game a lot. I thought it did a lot of good things. Very nostalgic for the original Prime games. I didn't really love the open world bike areas, but I think it does kind of split up the gameplay in a nice way so that you're not just always doing dungeon kind of exploration. And I haven't got to the part where you actually need those green crystals yet. I'm still collecting them, but I don't know why you need them yet. But it's I'm enjoying it. I just hope at the end of it, I know Frank had some issues with the final boss or one of the bosses, but I just hope there's not like a Metroid Prime 1 thing where like, oh, you missed all this like 8 tablets and now you got to go find them again or some bullshit like that. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. I think the mechanics are good. I think, the environments are unique and, they're nothing mind blowing, but they're classic Metroid and just a very nice nostalgia trip down, like a Metroid Prime / Metroid area that I liked, and I thought they were going to screw it up. So maybe that's why it's high on my list, is that I had such low expectations for the game, but I enjoyed it a lot. So number 5, Metroid Prime 4.
And the Viola cycle is underrated. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, I like the movement of it, and just the green crystals. Do yourself a favor, just collect as many as you can now. Don't say leave that right to the end of the game.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Although technically, I don't think you need the green crystals.
Yeah, I don't think you need them. That's true.
Because the first thing you get from them is a weapon power increase, and then the other ones are less important than that. So I think there's 4 in total, and the first one you get is the most important. So I think that's pretty.
Isn't there? I can't remember now. I feel like there is some gating for the very end of the game that's related to the crystals, but
I thought it was just the mech parts for that. Like you have to go. It's kind of like what Huck was saying with the what are they called? Relics.
Yeah, the relics.
Chozo lore things in Metroid Prime 1, but there's only 6 of them, I think. And if you're paying attention at all, you should have half of them at least by the time you need them.
So you're saying there is a moment like that at the end of this game?
Yeah, there is a bit.
Damn it. Might be dropping down.
All right, my number 5. This is where I put Split Fiction. I was, had it penciled into the list. Wasn't sure where it was going to fall until we finished it, but I thought it ended pretty strong. There was one section that Frank and I really thought lacked a bit. It probably could have been cut, but I thought the final chapter was really interesting and cool. I wish it was a little longer, but overall the game, like I really like all the Hazelight games, and this one, I don't think it's as good as It Takes Two, but I do feel like just the variety of mechanics and levels and environments, I just feel like there's a lot of like moment to moment. There's just so much different stuff. They don't overstay their welcome with any mechanic. And, I've heard a lot of criticism of the writing, which I kind of understand. But at the same time, it's like that concept of the fantasy and the sci-fi and being able to kind of bounce between those two genres is really strong. And, I just think the right part of the writing is the concept, which I think is very good. I just think maybe the dialogue and stuff is kind of corny at points. But I really enjoyed it. And, my number 5.
Yeah, at this point, I'm required by law to mention that all video game writing sucks for the most part, so try not to focus on it. My number 5 is Blueprints. When it came out, it felt like it was going to be GOTY. People were losing it over Blueprints, and rightfully so. And its innovation that we talked about when it came out is how it... you always, in a roguelite, you carry something forward to the next run. And what Blueprints really did well is information is that thing you carry into the next run in a really noticeable way. Like you have knowledge that is going to help you your next time around. And when I'm talking about ways any one of these games could have been number 1, really my only criticism with Blueprints, I thought it was brilliant and unique. And a great idea executed well. It feels very arbitrarily extended to be 30 hours. And my progress and that currency of information that is what drives the game is I don't get enough on one run. Sometimes I get one piece of information. Sometimes I get none. And it feels like I'm just doing another run and it's the same thing. And there's obviously built-in mechanics and economies where they increase the rate of certain items and money and keys and other things being placed more as you play the game. And I think if they just would have tweaked that or accelerated it by maybe 30%, 40 even, I think it could have been my game of the year. So that stretching of the idea is probably it is my biggest issue with the game. But other than that, I loved it. And if it wasn't for that, I would like to see all the endings, but I just kind of had my fill of it. And my other criticism is if I went back to it, I feel like I'd be starting over. I'm like, I got to remember everything I remembered in the past. And It's like, do I want to do that again? Maybe a couple of years from now, I will. But right now, it's like, okay, I had my time with that game, and I've no desire to really go back.
I have to admit, I'm surprised it's on your list because, like I remember you being kind of angry about the RNG elements of particularly trying to finish the game, which I also experienced. And it's like, I don't know, it's a tough game because, like, for me, it is really cool and has a lot of interesting original ideas there. But I just got too frustrated by the end, and I was hoping I would get hooked and want to do the post game stuff, and I just, like you, was kind of like, okay, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
which is a bummer.
I mean, it's a little too complex for its own good. When I think of that, I think of the generator and just being at the mercy of when you get this generator room that you have to connect to like 4 other things sometimes. And it's like, it's such a good idea. If you just helped me get there and made it more fun than frustrating, I think it would have been my game of the year, because I think it's a truly ingenious concept and deserves a lot of the praise it gets. Just a little too frustrating for its own good.
Number 4 for me is the ninja game that no one's talking about, according to Dwight, and that is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I must say, I picked this game up like last week, and just I can't put it down. It's so fun, and there's something like the bosses are challenging, but I don't get the feeling they're cheap. Like I'm able to learn their moves. It takes me, 10, 20 runs maybe at a boss, but, it does the thing I love. If there's a line of dialogue or a big cutscene before the boss and you die, you don't have to watch it again. It knows you already saw it. You don't need to spend the next 3 minutes clicking skip through the dialogue, which I love. There's always a save point right before the boss. So you're basically right back into the boss right away. Quick reloads. I find like the checkpoints are decently spaced where you're not, frustrated by your loss of progression when you die. I find, the enemy variety is not that great, but there is that sort of like puzzle mechanic of killing the guy with like that special glow that then helps you defeat the bigger guys faster. So I like that mechanic. I like the second, character, quote unquote, you get, and that mechanic. And so far the purchasing of all the stuff I've run into has been good and makes sense. And I don't know. I just keep wanting to play this game. It's a really fun action platformer that I know people are talking about it, although Dwight doesn't say they are. But I think this is a great game. I really enjoy it. So number 4, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
I mean, I think my comments is more, I've seen Shinobi on tons of top 10 lists.
Oh, really?
Barely seen Ninja Gaiden on any. So it just feels like one got the little extra bump over the other. But
based on my brief time with them, I would pick Ragebound as well. I think it's a little more fun and fluid. Yeah, I think you guys have kind of commented on the fluidity.
Yeah.
There are some, I feel like, cumbersome button combinations and mechanics and kind of mapping overload for some of the stuff in Shinobi.
Yeah. And, the disappointment of it not being a full Metroidvania, but I don't know. I feel like I do need to go back to that game.
All you have to do, Shinobi, just don't put a map in there that looks like a Metroid. Like, we won't even hold you to it. Just don't don't fake us out. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay, my number 4. This is going to be controversial, but not maybe for the reason you think. It's Ghost of Yotei, which is the only game on my list, I think, that I didn't beat. And I'm currently actively playing it. And I kind of had the opposite experience of Frank, where I went back to it like a couple weeks ago. And the more I'm playing it, the more I'm loving it. And I think for me, the first 5 hours or so, it kind of feels like, okay, this is this revenge story. You got to kill these 6 people. And that's kind of it. And the map kind of just feels like points where you have to go to kill people, and that's it. And I was like, I don't know, I'm not feeling like compelled to go back to this. And I think part of it is I think they made an effort to not do the Ubisoft like tons of markers on a map thing. Like, they want it to be more organic. As you're out riding your horse, stuff comes to you, which it does. And I think that works pretty well. But, past the 5 hour mark, the story starts to pick up, and there's, now I'm kind of like, I'm almost like, okay, there's too much dialogue. There's too much of that stuff. But
can I just add, you, especially on side quests, I don't mind for main story stuff, but like on little side thing, you can't even skip a line. And like I've read the subtitle already. I'm not like losing context. I'm like, I just kind of, this doesn't really matter that much. Can I just expedite this a little bit? That really gets on my nerves.
skip button would be nice. But I really enjoy the combat. I haven't really hit too many of the issues Frank's talking about yet. Maybe I will. I'm like at about 20 hours right now. And I'm probably not even halfway through the game, I don't think. But it's, I don't know. There's like, it is the Sony, it's hitting all the marks of like what the Sony third person action adventure games do, but they do it so well. And there is something about the tone of this. Like, I know you're saying that it's a little too serious for you, Frank, which I can see. There are a couple of comedic side characters that I have enjoyed, but there is something about the, like, I don't know, there's one mission where you have to kill somebody, and then before you kill him, he's like a musician and he wants to sit down and play a song with you. And it sounds so lame, but like, I don't know, there was something about the quietness of that moment and how that plays out that I was like, okay, there's not a lot of games that would do that. And so I don't know, just it looks amazing. I'm
while we're talking about the shamisen, the guitar, I feel like all the mini games are kind of failures. The lighting a fire, playing your guitar. What's the other one? Cooking at camp. And there's a reason why they let you skip that stuff, because I'm sure people like, I really don't. And forging, I skip all that stuff. And that definitely indicates something. But the biggest failure of that to me is the wolf. I was like so excited to have this wolf companion, and it barely plays a factor in my game after like 30 hours. In order to get the wolf to show up, you have to like swipe left on your guitar and like summon it with a song, which is like kind of annoying and slow. And there
are a couple other moves that bring the wolf in.
Yeah, you can throw certain things at enemies, and I want the wolf to be there more. It's such a cool idea, and especially in some of these areas, there's like 100 enemies, and it's so repetitive. And I feel like the wolf would be a good thing. It would make you feel powerful and give you more variety in combat. So, it's still good. Don't get me wrong. I will finish it. Anyway, keep going. You weren't even done yet.
Yeah, I don't have too much else to say. I mean, I could regret putting it this high on my list maybe by the time I'm finished, but like it feels like everything I've seen is people say it's good, but it's like more of the same, or we've seen this before. Like almost every review I've read or heard of the game brings up that Assassin's Creed Shadows came out earlier in the year, which is not their fault. And I do think it's the stronger game, but that's unfortunate. What can you do about that?
Just on that note, I think they're both really good.
Yeah,
and it is unfortunate they both came out the same year. And I mean, Rise of the Ronin and Neo, there is this like Japan fatigue that we talked about a bit with like a lot of these games, and that doesn't help either. So
yeah, and I mean, those are all factors, I'm sure, but I don't know. I think I'm really enjoying it now. I kind of wish I had committed to it a little earlier in the year, but I feel like more people will come to it at some point. So that's my number 4.
My number 4, and like, as I said, this could be my number 1. My top 4, almost interchangeable. I'll give my reason for number 1, but they're all great. I loved almost every minute I had with them, except for the Snake and Donkey Kong Bonanza. But my number 4 is Hades 2. And I put like 80 hours in, just the one more run. I'm like, I should stop playing this game. There's other games I haven't played this year. And then I'd play for 10 hours straight, and I just couldn't stop. So obvious. I mean, I don't know how much you guys have played, but kind of like Absalom, it introduces different paths in a way. Mild spoiler, you can go up or down. And it's different biomes and bosses. So where every Hades run felt kind of similar, the way Heat runs in Hades extended the playtime and created variety. This one has like two paths and economies surrounding those paths that motivate you to do different things, try different weapons, and like forces your hand a bit to not do the same thing over and over again, and motivates you to try different types of runs and complete different quests and prophecies. And I just, obviously the mechanics are great. They're in two games, and how different it is than the first in some ways. Like all the weapons feel different and the boons are very different. And with my two roguelikes in my top 10, runs can feel drastically different. And another great thing Hades 2 does, it has these challenges. I can't remember what they're called, but it makes you, they're like seeded almost, where you get a weapon and a bunch of boons to start. And it almost shows you like, you know, you might not have thought how to play the game this way. And it gives you an opportunity with like a loaded run to see how powerful or cool like certain combinations of boons can be. And it's like, wow, I never would have tried that. And that was super cool. And I wish actually there was way more of those. I could see like DLC where they just like throw a bunch of those at you, and it's like challenge modes of specific curated runs. And that on its own is worth playing to me. So, man, just saying it, I'm like, this could be my number one. I loved Hades 2, and I cannot wait to play it again when I can get fucking trophies in it. And I hope that's this year. And I will start it that day, and I'll probably play through it again when it happens.
Nice.
Yeah, this one is one of the bigger gaps on my list because I kept sitting down to play it, and I don't know what happened. Every time I would get interrupted, and I probably put in 15 minutes in this game, and I really needed to play it. But then every time I thought about it, I was like, I kind of know what this game is, or I know it's going to be a huge time sink, and I'm not going to want to put that much time in. So I really did not give it a fair shake at all. But I would like to get into it.
I also didn't even try it at all. So gap completely. My number 3, definitely the best third-person action game to come out this year is Mafia: The Old Country, which
Nice.
is a great game. I kind of like what Frank was saying. You know, it is, the story's good, the mechanics are good. Reminds me of Uncharted 1, where it's just like a very guided path down. You could argue it's it's not very open world at all, but it gives you the illusion of open world, which is great because sometimes I don't like being able to go wherever I want. I want to just kind of go down the main route. There's no side questing, or very little side questing, let's say, and really, like, even some of the mechanics, I don't even know what they're for. Like there's this whole economy of like buying these beads that really don't add that much that I could tell. And there's like that old lady that sells you stuff. I don't know what she sells you, but overall,
I like that stuff. Hey, you got to platinum it, brother. If you platinum it, you got to use all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, not platinum it, that's for sure. Or in my case, 1,000ing it, whatever that's called. But I really liked this game. I thought the gunplay was fun, melee combat, the knife fights. I thought they really like pace it out well, so you don't have like 1,000 knife fights in a row, right? It's kind of a special moment. That is like kind of like their boss fight moment, and you know, it's just different enough to make them all interesting. I thought the environments were neat. How you like circle back to the volcano or whatever.
Yeah, the mines and stuff like that, and kind of like what you're saying, the opposite of Yote. I never was like, oh, another knife fight. They just kind of knew, like Nintendo, when enough's enough. Like we're pushing it. If we could put another one of these in, but I think we're pushing it.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, so I don't know. All the missions were fun. The driving was, you know, kind of comedic at times when you run those crappy cars off the road and they do flips and everyone's still talking like nothing's going on. I always get a chuckle out of that kind of stuff. And I like when games like don't take themselves too seriously. And yeah, anyways, great game. Everyone should check it out. I think this game is very under the radar in general, and definitely a hidden gem of this year. So Mafia: The Old Country, number 3.
Nice. Well, I will say my number 3 is the best first-person action game of the year, Doom: The Dark Ages, which, you know, again, is like a weird game that I feel like I really enjoyed, and everyone else was like, "Eh, it was okay." I don't know. Part of it is I guess I did not play enough of Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal. It seems like a lot of people were comparing it to those two and feeling like it didn't measure up to those. I didn't really have enough time with either of those games to really compare or think anything worse of this game because of it. So for me, it was just this big bombastic action game that the shield and all the different mechanics that revolve around that I found to be a lot of fun. And I just thought the kind of pacing of the game, where you kind of have waves of enemies that you're fighting, and then you have a bit of a breather, and you can kind of explore and try to find different power-ups and things in the level, and then more enemies, and then explore. Like that back and forth was something I really enjoyed. I think maybe for some people that wasn't what they were looking for in a Doom game, although there is exploration in the other games too. But yeah, I mean, even the cutscenes and like I can't really tell you what the story of the game is, but just the visuals and the kind of over the top sort of sci-fi fantasy thing that's going on, and how they kind of treat the main character as this like beast that everyone is scared of and stuff like that. I really enjoyed, and had a great time with it. So yeah, I mean, if you kind of played it and then kind of bounced off it or something, I would say give it another shot. I thought it was a lot of fun and kind of lived up to the promise of what they showed us in the trailers. So,
You know what, Sean? I'd like to take this opportunity to formally apologize to Microsoft, Phil, and Bethesda. Let's throw Todd Howard in there too. I burnt myself out. I played Doom 2019 or 2016 and a bunch of Doom Eternal right before this came out. And a classic Frank move, kind of burnt myself out on Doom. And I do owe this game an apology, because I think it might have ended up on my top 10 list if I just played it when it came out and didn't try to be a Doom completionist before its release.
apology accepted.
On behalf of them, I'm not apologizing to you.
Yes.
My number 3 is Hollow Knight Silksong, a game I'm very surprised that dropped out of nowhere. It was like, oh my God, it's coming out in September after all these delays. And like on a lot of top 10 lists, but not a lot of praising of it, or like how much better it is than the first that I saw. And within the first 4 hours, I was kind of frustrated with it. I didn't love the diagonal dash, and I thought the combat and platforming for the first 4 hours or so was kind of boring and tedious. Well, there's a YouTube short we made that pretty much speaks to this. But then I got the claw line. And once I got the claw line in the run, things changed completely. I was empowered, and the combat was fast and furious, and exploration was fun. And although it's very challenging, I always felt that it was my fault. I thought the game was, for the most part, fair. There are some bosses with RNG that are kind of frustrating, but I just think the boss design is so good. And I pumped 110 hours practically straight into this game until I did 100% of the game, and I loved it. I liked Hollow Knight. I didn't think it was as great as the rest of the world thought it was, but this game, I got it. I got everything about this kind of Team Cherry aesthetic. I think it looks better than the previous game, not surprisingly. And there's just so much in this game. For a 2D game by an indie studio, it is so full of content, and it's not like all these Souls-likes have rehash bosses or face 2 bosses at once, and it doesn't go to that well too often. And the tentpole boss fights, the final boss, and I can't remember the one knight that you fight, that's a very challenging boss. Those are really fun and really cool and so satisfying when you beat them. I'll throw that cliche in as well. And I just loved my time with Hollow Knight Silksong. And again, if this game was going to be number 1 on my list, which it could be, just give me that stuff earlier. Get me into the heart of the game a little faster and improve some of the vertical platforming sections, especially in the beginning, which in the YouTube short, it's like jump, hit, fall back down. If that experience was a little more fluid earlier on or just not there, I think it would be my game of the year. And this is weird to say. I think people are kind of sleeping on Hollow Knight Silksong.
Wouldn't have seen that coming after all the talk when it first released, but
Yeah.
could be. My number 2, Frank's already mentioned this game in passing, and I'm sure it's coming for him. But Absolem is up there at the number 2 spot. This is a roguelike I guess 2D side-scrolling action game. And it's just, I really like the art style of this game. I really like the combat mechanics. I think the art style of the map and how you progress the map is really compelling. And it feels like I'm exploring a predefined world, even though I know I'm not. And I think they really did a good job with that. And I found the combat fun, enemies fun, bosses really enjoyable and challenging. And I definitely haven't not beaten it yet, but it's I'm compelled to go back and play it every once in a while and keep going on it. So it's really, really a fun game. Everyone should check this one out. I've seen it on some lists that I've seen, but it's really not hitting.
It's never high.
Never high. Yeah, never high. So number 2, Absolem.
Well, it's high now.
It's high up there now.
Possibly about to get higher. Okay. My number 2, Huck mentioned pretty early on, the Seance of Blake Manor. So this game was in some ways what I wanted Blueprints to be, although it's kind of a different beast. But, it's, as Huck said, it's kind of a detective mystery game. You're at this mansion, and you have a couple days to talk to all the people who are staying at this mansion leading up to a seance that's going to happen. And kind of each person has like a story and sort of a mystery you have to solve. And there's sort of like a supernatural vibe. There's some strange goings on, and it's got kind of a spooky atmosphere. It came out around Halloween, which, was good timing. Kind of, I was playing it around then, and it definitely enhanced the atmosphere a little bit. But I played probably about half of the game in the first couple weeks, and then it just sat for a while, and I'm not sure why, but I came back to it after Christmas and played the second half, and I just I got really wrapped up in the story and kind of that time mechanic that Huck's talking about. I think when they give it to you initially in sort of the tutorial section, it doesn't fully represent what's going on in the game, because it's not you can do most things in the game and you don't have to worry about that time mechanic. It feels like you've got this extra pressure on you or something, but you don't. The only thing it's really doing is allowing the events to continue outside of you. It feels like time is passing in kind of a natural way. And there's people are going about things, and everybody has a schedule that they're following, and you kind of got to be aware of where people are so you can talk to them or meet up with people and at certain times and things like that. So, but yeah, it was mostly I love the visuals, the look of it. It actually does resemble Blueprints in the visuals, but I think there's something about this game that it looks a little more polished to me. And I
almost has a comic book feel with some of the swipes and the panels that they show little cutscenes in. Yeah,
for sure. And it's not the puzzle elements. I don't think there's anything that difficult or tricky, but there's just enough there to kind of keep you engaged. And it feels like as you're looking around, almost around every corner, you're finding something. You're making progress. You're not really getting stuck that much. So, I just really enjoyed it. And my number 2.
Nice. My number 2 is Donkey Kong Bonanza, and kind of surprised it's number 2. And I out of any game this year, my number one, I could see someone not liking it necessarily. Maybe some journalists. This game, I don't understand how it's not being like showered with praise, like the creativity, the polish, just the fun factor to bring back a GamePro term. And like, I just I really just want to keep playing it. I didn't want to stop until I hit that snake. And that's really where it stops for me. And then I learned to like the snake or not hate it, but it was such a momentum killer for me, that area. And I can't get it out of my head. But other than that, I was like, each area is so unique. And I know I've said this before, but I can't believe how well they pulled off this idea of digging anywhere, destroying things, and being able to make sense of it, whether it's the radar and all the rendering techniques they use to, I never really felt lost, or how they scale, or I should say scope the world is very reasonable. And the map is so good. Such a good map. One of the best maps ever. I think on the regular show, Sean had mentioned this idea, if you pick something, the camera, when you come out of the map, kind of points you towards it and all this. Like it's so easy to play. It's so much fun to play. And if you just made that fucking snake fun, it would be my game of the year. But it's not. It's so, the snake is so un-Nintendo like. It feels like a chore. It feels like it's broken. How, like, the timing for the double jump when you can jump again, it's like all these other animals make me feel powerful. This one feels like it's holding me back, and I just can't get over the fucking snake. And snakes are the coolest animal in the game. It should be the most fun animal. Even the freezing time mechanic for the snake is unintuitive. It's just, I don't get it. It just, in a Nintendo game, it just sticks out. Let's bring up DK and Pauline here, my little amiibo. It's, other than that, just an absolute joy to play that game. And I'm thinking it might be Sean's number one. I don't know, but I think I know Huck's number one. I think I know what it has to be, and I'm kind of surprised. But DK Bonanza, I love it. And it sucks that it's only on Switch 2 right now and no one's playing it, because it is just pleasure. It's pure pleasure in video game form, except for the snake. So just everyone, sell some of your bullshit in your house, take out a second mortgage, do something, buy a Switch 2 and DK Bonanza. You're all missing out on the Switch 2. Wake up. It's never going to go on sale. Buy it now. The next EB secret sale, go hog wild. We'll let you know. Get an Alarmo. Sean, let me know next time Alarmo's on sale. Holy shit. It's timed. We all, I know, I was like, Nintendo's over. It's time. It's over. They need to be praised again. It's gone too far. All right. Number one. Let's do it.
Okay. Number one. Obviously, Frank's also number one. It's obvious.
I'll say this. I think both of your games start with a D.
A D?
Yeah.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Oh.
I thought it was Dispatch.
No, not for me. It's Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Oh my God.
Just like you predicted in the beginning.
Barf.
Yes.
Nice.
It is the game of the year, despite Frank's ramblings over there about how it's shit. It is an excellent game. And
How many hours did you put into Claire Obscure Expedition 33?
20?
Okay. All right. I'll accept it. I did too.
Yeah. And I don't know, I like the quirky characters in it. I love the combat, to be honest. And I think what really sold it to me is the overworld interactions with the enemies are like every time you approach a new enemy, it is very difficult and you kind of struggle, but you can always kind of return to the flag. It has that like roguelike, or what's that? It's not roguelike, but you know, where you, the Souls-like thing where you can recover your energy at kind of the save points, but it also recovers all the enemies. And so, you know, you venture out into the world kind of a little cautiously. You know, your first time you kind of get the shit kicked out of you every time you face a new enemy. You go back, heal, go back out, and then you slowly learn these mechanics. And I always find, like, you kind of can see a pretty big area with all the enemies running around, and you're kind of getting a little worried, like, oh shit, if this first guy's going to kick my ass, how am I going to make it through all these other ones? But I find there's just enough save points around that you can save and, progress. But also, I'm impressed with how easy it is to learn the tells of these enemies and how to parry them, how to block them. And basically, a good rule of thumb is every time you go into a battle first, just block. Or not block, dodge. Just dodge to begin with. Don't try to parry. The parry is a huge risk reward, but the dodge has such a bigger window of success. And, if you just play it safe those first couple times, the battles will take longer, but you probably won't lose that much health. And then eventually you learn these moves and you parry, and then you just start destroying all the enemies you come across. And I feel like that mechanic is really well tuned in this game and really enjoyable. And so that sort of action turn-based RPG aspect is a really great mechanic, and I kind of wish more RPGs use this type of interactive battle mechanic. I always go back to what's it called? Now I'm forgetting. Shadow Hearts 2, I think it was, that had like this what they call it. It was like a wheel that had like a thing that spun around and it had like valid points. I feel like this is a very similar mechanic to that in their combat, where you have to, press buttons in a certain combination to kind of level up your spell. And it just keeps the player, even though it's turn-based and there's not that same pressure as a full-on action RPG, it does still keep you motivated. It's not just like the old Final Fantasy games where you're just button mashing the whole time. You don't even care what you're pressing. You're just like fight, 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 fight. It's like in the new Pixel remasters, how you just auto battle. And it kind of shows the flaws in that sort of mechanic where you really don't care about the battle that's happening. You're really just trying to get the experience at the end to level up and watch the numbers go up, which is part of all RPGs. But in these action games, it's more engaging, but I still like that turn-based aspect of these games where you can take your time, strategize without worrying about getting hit or having a guy hit you. And by adding those action elements into it with the dodging and the parrying, and then also the kind of like leveling up your spell or whatever your action, I think it keeps you engaged the whole time throughout the battle, and you're never just kind of watching. And I think that is the secret sauce of this game that maybe those reviews are not touching on, Frank. That, it's not just a story. The story's cool. It's not just a fantasy kind of like out there environment. It is the battles. The battles is what drives this game completely. And it's definitely my number one, 100%. No question asked.
I strongly disagree with the action battle mechanics of the game.
Okay.
Other than the jump. I think the jump is phenomenal. Like when you have to, I think it's right trigger or to jump certain attacks.
I think so.
I think that's when that kicks in. I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting it now. But I still think the tells for the enemies are like so drawn out sometimes and so fast at other times that I do feel like I'm at the mercy of those things. And especially like kind of what you're saying is a good thing, is a criticism of mine, which is the first time you go into a battle, you could never know the tells. And it's like, I'm just at the mercy of this game. And then I don't think it's fun to, like, the whole point of a response and action battle system to me is to have you engaged, not to be like gathering information for the next time you go into it. I think that's a failure of the system.
So there's actually like a hack, I guess, that I use, and so I don't actually pay attention to what the enemies are doing.
The boss fights on YouTube?
No.
Half-time speed?
Half-time speed. No. But if you just kind of zone out and pay attention to kind of like the movements in general, the movements have this like slow-mo aspect to it. And then as soon as it goes fast mode, that's when you should be parrying. So the wind up and everything is all slow-mo. So as soon as you see the creature start to move in like a more regular timed, that's when you hit like the parry button. And it is like a little learned mechanic that you have to kind of, but by paying attention to like what the guy's doing exactly, it is very hard to like exactly identify when. So there is like a visual tell, but it's pretty subtle.
Okay, I just want to add, I might go back to it. I do want to get it. I'll give myself like I know it sounds like I'm negative about this
Or
game,
you
but
just dodge, man. Just be a non-gamer and
I'm
dodge.
saying it's hard to dodge. I want to like this game. I want to see what everyone else sees in it, but someone else said, "Oh, you know what the trick is for parrying and dodging? It's the sounds. Listen for the sounds." So the next time I started the game, I was like, "Okay, sounds. I'm going to listen to the sounds." Guess what? They were completely wrong. Sounds don't help at all. And like every time someone says, "Oh, this is the key. This is the key," I try it. I'm like, you know what? That's not the key either. So, and to me, that's like a failure on their part, not mine. But I'll still give it another shot. I'll keep giving. Believe me, I wanted to love this game. If you remember, back when it was first showed, Game Junk was the podcast that said, "Now this is the game everyone should be talking about." The visual presentation. I was like, so I wanted to force feed this motherfucker, but it just didn't happen. And
Your loss.
I'll still try. Hey, I didn't take on Returnal right away. I didn't take on other things, and then I eventually, Breath of the Wild, I got it and loved it. So I'll keep trying. I will keep trying. I promise.
Good. You should.
I will. Sean, if Claire Expedition is your number one game of the year, we're going to have words.
It is.
At least Hawkeye,
not.
I can buy it. Like,
Yeah,
he loves those types of games.
Yeah, I thought it might be on Huck's list. I'm surprised it's number one, but I thought there was a chance. So,
there was a chance.
It is
all
not.
right.
It is not my number one. My number one is Donkey Kong Bonanza, which just is the game for me that this year felt like it was doing something fresh and new and kind of although I hate to use the term, kind of next gen. Like it felt like something I hadn't really seen before. And, like I think there are some criticisms like that. A lot of people seem to find the game repetitive. I didn't really find that. I found like it was kind of just amazing how you could go anywhere, break whatever you want, and the level would just, that would stick around unless you wanted to reset the entire geometry of the level. But, the snake, I agree, kind of sucks. And like another criticism I've heard is that a lot of the forms in general are not really needed in the game. They're just kind of like an extra layer that they threw on top, which I agree with. But that's why I don't care that the snake sucks, because you really only have to use it a couple times. Other than that, you just ignore it. So, and also I will say, like, I didn't 100% the game. Maybe if you try to 100% it gets repetitive. I could see that maybe. But I just thought it was a lot of fun exploring, and it just looked great. And I don't know what else to say. It was just the game that, after I finished it, I was like, this is my number one, and it kind of stuck there for the rest of the year. So Donkey Kong Bonanza, I agree. Buy a Switch too. Check it out.
I gotta say, I've been like, I kind of want to go back and start it over again, because the less favorable parts for me are the thing that are freshest in my mind. But that first 6 or 7 levels you go down, I was like, this is incredible. I'm having so much fun. And I think another underrated aspect to it, there's a lot of content in it. There's a lot of areas. They all feel different. And they knew what sucks. And they didn't make you do it too much. Like you mentioned the snake, but the Rhino Ramby racing, I was like, this is going to be amazing. I'm like, oh, this kind of blows. And you only have to do 1 race. And you only have to do 2, I think, to get all the bananas to 100% the game. So I think they kind of knew it sucks. And I love when games know what sucks about themselves. And they're like so self-aware, and Nintendo is so good at that for the most part. So yeah, man, gotta check it out. It rules. Great game.
Yeah.
All right, we've done it. 2025 is officially over. It's February 1st and we're into 2026.
What about your number one?
I didn't say my number one. Oh,
no! What are you doing?
I mean, we all know what it is, but
that's you know what? Maybe I'm actually saying DK Bonanza is my number one. Because,
I think you might be.
I just think it's so obvious what my number one is. I feel like I've talked about it already. Absalom, the roguelike that I never saw coming, and I know I've said it before, but the the reason why this is my number one, especially in a time when every month there is a new retro beat 'em up, arcade style beat 'em up game, and I'm excited for them, and I stop playing them after 30 minutes. I'm like, I don't think I've ever played a beat 'em up for more than 30 minutes, other than maybe TMNT, the arcade game, when I was 12. And this game made me replay a beat 'em up to unbelievable levels. I platinumed this game, and then as soon as I was done, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to start it again. And I platinumed it again. And when I did it the second time, I'm like, you know what? I might 100% this thing on Steam. But I didn't. I said, enough is enough. You're a sick man. It's time to stop. But I could have. I legit could have started it again. And I just feel like at first I'm like, yeah, these mounts aren't that interesting, and throwing items should be a bigger deal. And then when you start dedicating a run to those things and with certain characters, it just changes the game. I'm like, kind of like Hades, the runs start to feel completely different. And it's got 4 unique characters that are all really different. And I enjoy each one in a different way. And I loved the branching, curated story paths. Like, it is a bunch of predefined areas, but I'm always choosing different ones. And the way the story makes me make different choices, find hidden paths. I loved it. I thought it was very unique. The music is incredible. I love the visuals, as Huck mentioned, not just the characters, which the enemy designs as well, like the Lizard King and the Goblin King. I just thought they were exceptional character designs, and just aesthetic in general I loved. But stuff like, you cross bridges in silhouette, or just small polish moments that like give it a visual flair, that blew me away. And the typefaces when you enter new areas, it just had the entire package. And I just think it's an incredible game. And I didn't even play co-op that much, but I did a couple co-op runs, and I thought it was the best roguelike co-op experience I've ever had. And I kind of wished I could have done the whole game in co-op. So I just am so enamored with this game, and not a whole lot I think that could be improved on it, other than putting more content in, which it's, first time developer, a new game. It's hard to really criticize them for that, and it's still long enough. I don't feel like you would feel like it wasn't a value to buy this game. And again, its true accomplishment is making beat 'em ups replayable. And I can't believe no one else figured out roguelikes is the way to do that, because it always puts a new spin on a beat 'em up. And just what a joy, and what a pleasant surprise. And give it a shot if you've ever liked to beat 'em up. I know, Huck, you liked Streets of Rage 4, and it's the same developers as
Yes.
that. I should say who developed it, because they deserve it. And there's it's made by a few people, like developed by Guard Crush Games and Supamonks. I think Guard Crush are the ones that did Streets of Rage 4, but also Dotemu, the publisher, is also listed a developer. So it's tough to know who ultimately is responsible for this game, but I think Guard Crush Games is a big factor based on what I know about Streets of Rage 4, and I really should go back and play that. But I just love everything about this game. So my game of the year. And now with that said, finally, 2025. I'm just kidding. I got to do honorable mentions a bit.
I do have a few honorable mentions. Absalom, though, I again, a lot of roguelikes I wanted to put time into. This was probably, between this and Ball Pit, were the two I wanted to put more time into, and I think they could have made my list. Actually, Ball Pit, I'm surprised that wasn't on your list, Frank.
Very close call. It will be one of my honorable mentions, which when I give an honorable mention, it means something, because I don't do it.
I'm surprised you have some. Yeah, you usually don't. So let's do it.
All right. Huck, any honorable mentions for you going around?
I don't think so. Like, really just Dispatch, I guess. It's just such a unique game, and like art style, and so well polished, but it's just not enough game there for me, I think, in terms of like I think you said it, Frank, like if this was a show on Netflix or something, you'd be all over it. But yeah, that's just one game that stood out for me, I think. There's a bunch of games I didn't get a chance to really dive into as well, but Dispatch was the one where I was like, oh, this is like such a high polish level that I feel like it deserves some credit. So that's about it for me.
And great writing. Like great
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
Sean?
I'll go in pairs because these are kind of linked in some way, but I'll just say two Metroid likes that just narrowly missed the cut. Guns of Fury, which is the Metal Slug Metroid kind of mashup, and it's a lot of fun. And Revenge of the Savage Planet, which is kind of more of a Metroid Prime, although it isn't first person. You actually do see your character now in this one, but kind of feels still Metroid Prime-ish.
Okay, I got a lot, and I mentioned Apologies to Doom. I kind of feel like I owe a very, very mild apology to Death Stranding 2 on the beach, because like I played a bunch of Death Stranding 1 this year, and it just broke me. It was so frustrating to me and from what I hear, this one really improves on the gameplay. And the fact that it's a sequel, I couldn't do it. Maybe I'll regret not including it, but I hear like it is like genuinely a better game than the first. So I wish I could have given it more time. I was just kind of at my rope's end with Death Stranding this year.
Yeah, I was hoping to put some time into that, and I kind of was like just stuck between wanting to go back to Death Stranding 1 and give that another shot or just jump into this, but then like the length of it was just so intimidating that I just didn't end up even starting it, but I do want to get to it at some point.
Split Fiction, which we talked about a bunch. I really liked it. Pipistrello, same thing. Fun game to platinum. Dispatch, I think if I would have played it with keyboard and mouse from the beginning, it would have been on my top 10 list. It was the controller experience that was really bad for me, like painful at times. Yote, same argument as Ghost of Tsushima. If I just mainlined story, I think maybe it would have made my top 10. But I was doing a lot of exploring and side content. Mario Kart World, a failure at the open world promised, but still a good game that I put a lot of time into. Battlefield 6, put over 100 hours in it. Really like it as a counterbalance to COD and its immersive experience, but still sometimes I get really frustrated with it, and I think the menus absolutely blow. And Rematch is the biggest cut, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Surprise for me.
Surprised that didn't make it.
I loved Rematch. I thought the mechanics and actual gameplay were phenomenal. Just no one to play with. People who played sucked, which made it not fun to play. Everyone I would join a match with was like an asshole or would disconnect and not pass the ball. And I'm just like, if I just had people to play this with, I would play it all the time. And it just didn't happen. Oh, and one more, Ball Pit, I loved as well. And just great idea. Not a ton of depth, but I really enjoyed that. So absolutely wonderful year for games. Very, very pleased with 2025. Worst year for movies, one of the best years for games.
Okay, I got a couple other honorable mentions. Actually, one other thing I wanted to mention. This isn't really an honorable mention, but this, if I played it more, could have made my list. But I'm actually surprised it wasn't on Huck's list. The Root Trees Are Dead.
Yeah, I like that game. I played through it. I played through the DLC, but I don't know if there was enough there to keep me to the top 10 level.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
You got to work hard to knock off Mind's Eye from a top 10 list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I played enough, I think, that I was enjoying it, but I was like, yeah, it's right on the edge. I don't know if it's going to make my top 10 list, so I kind of put it aside, but I do want to go back to it. Other ones that were on my top 10 list at one point but got knocked off, OOO and Motion Wreck, both of which are short-ish indie puzzle platformers. Really enjoyed both of those. And then a couple of VR games, Ghost Town, which was kind of from the makers of The Room VR. It's kind of a puzzle game, but it's got sort of a supernatural. It's not really horror, but it's got a spookiness to it, I guess. And then I just played this weekend, and it was really close to making my list. Hotel Infinity, which is like a short kind of puzzle game from the makers of Manifold Garden. Is that what that game was called? And it's kind of similar in the sense that it's like, so it's a room scale game, or at least it's recommended that you play it room scale. So I had to move my couch and make enough room so I could kind of walk around. And it's like you're going through these little corridors in the hotel, and it's making you turn and move around within the room within like a 2 meter by 2 meter space. But it feels like you're walking all over this hotel, and all the twists and turns are like you turn the corner and the room changes, and it's like you're looking at something completely different, and the geometry is like all weird and trippy, and I don't really know how to describe it, but it was a very cool, unique experience. And if you enjoy VR and you can do the room scale thing, it's probably one of 2 games I've played that have done room scale in a really interesting way. So check it out.
Sounds neat. What's the other game out of curiosity with room scale?
Eye of the Temple, it's called.
And it doesn't look like Hotel Infinity's on Steam. It's on PSVR and MetaQuest, I think.
Yeah, I played it on Quest. I don't think it's on Steam yet.
Okay, nice. That's a nice pull. You know what? I'm in the mood for apologies today. I do think I owe another. And believe me, I am not apologizing to Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, and their developers.
Okay.
I will never apologize to them ever. They should apologize to me, and every game journalist should apologize to the world. But I will apologize just to Steam games in general. That's a me thing. That's shame on me. Just haven't been a PC gamer. Lots of great Steam games that Sean and Huck have mentioned that I just haven't given the appropriate amount of time to, and I might regret it when they finally come around to console. But I would like to make a formal apology to developers who are making great games for Steam that I just haven't given the time to. So please try not to hold it against me. I will buy your games the second they release on consoles, even if I don't
noticed
play them.
a Switch game lacking from your list there. A big one.
Which one's that?
Cinnabunny.
That's
Not
true.
on your list. Embarrassing.
Yeah, it's shameful indeed, 100%. And I would like to apologize to any developer involved in the making of that game, present company included.
Excellent.
I can't believe Welcome Tour wasn't at least an honorable mention, though. Come on.
Let's not get crazy. I mean, it made me buy a steering wheel, and maybe what really pulled it off the list is when I saw that steering wheel on sale for $9 during the secret sales at EB, and I'm like, they got me. I could have waited. I didn't need these things. No, I don't even know if you needed it to do that, but I bought it anyway. All right, now I can officially say 2025 is in the books.
Yes.
What lessons have we learned? Number 1, review your Sony wrap up the day it's released. Do not wait for Game Junk episodes. Any other lessons to take into 2026? That's the only one I got.
It's a pretty good one. Yeah, I don't have any right now. I'll give it some thought, though.
All right, that's all I learned really this year that I'll remember.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward. I think 2026 is going to be great. Can't wait for First Light, Resident Evil coming up soon, Neo 3 next week. I'm sure we'll talk about the demo potentially in next week's episode. And I'm going to talk some more Mio and Cairn, which is getting some buzz. So 2026 off to a great start. Let us know your top 10 games maybe we missed, or especially your number 1. Throw your number 1 in the comments. youtube.com/GameJunk. Discord links are there as well. Thank you for being with us for another year, and looking forward to another one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching or listening. Let's just call it watching from now on.
Let's do it.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.